Great. All right. Good evening and welcome, everyone. It's so lovely to see you all here. On behalf of the LAM Foundation, it is my pleasure to welcome you to this evening's Lamposium in Your Living Room educational webinar series. My name is Cindy Beasley, and I am the Director of Education and Advocacy for the Foundation, and I will be your moderator this evening. So before we begin, I would like to take a moment to thank our generous sponsor, the National Disease Research Interchange, or NDRI. NDRI's partnership with the LAM Foundation and LAM patients has pushed forward the science of LAM through their coordination of LAM tissue procurement at the time of transplant. We appreciate their ongoing support of our research efforts and our educational programs. Now, speaking of research, most of you will have received an email survey in your inbox today regarding LAM PrEP, the LAM Patient Needs Assessment and Research Priorities Survey. This survey was developed based on input from numerous LAM patient focus groups. Filling out this survey will be invaluable for setting the priorities of LAM research moving forward. So we thank you for your participation. Now, there's a couple of quick technical items. Microphones will be muted and the chat box disabled throughout the presentations. At the conclusion of the presentations, we will open the chat box for Q&A. Now, following Q&A, we will move into a patient and family group discussion. Now, we're going to try something a little different this evening because we're going to use breakout rooms to try to facilitate smaller group discussions. I encourage you to stay logged on for this opportunity to connect with fellow LAM community members from across the globe. So, we've got a great program for you this evening as we welcome our new scientific director, Dr. Vera Krymskaya, along with LAM specialist and LAM Clinic Medical Co-Director, Dr. Rob Kotloff. We will begin with Dr. Krymskaya and our LAM research update. So many of you know Dr. Krymskaya because of her long association with the LAM Foundation. And the best way I can describe her is that she is a trailblazer. In 2008, she was tenured and appointed as the first female professor of medicine at the University of Pennsylvania School of Medicine. Her pioneering research on LAM paved the way for the FDA approval of rapamycin as a new treatment for LAM and TS. We are fortunate to have her leadership in moving LAM science forward towards a cure. So at this point, we will turn this over to Dr. Krymskaya.
Good evening. Thank you, Cindy, for introduction. It's a great pleasure tonight to speak to you, LAM patients. I'm very proud to be in this unique position. Over 20 years ago, I started my research career working in LAM research. And I couldn't imagine that I will be speaking now as a scientific director of the LAM Foundation. Over 20 years ago, I was very interested to find the focus of my research, which could save patients' lives. And I was studying pathway, which called mTOR pathway. And here's the image of that. And that pathway specific was in a key regulation of cell growth and proliferation. Then I learned about this rare disease LAM, which affects only women of childbearing age. I sent email to Sue Barnes, which at that time she was scientific and she was director, founder of the LAM Foundation. And then a few days later, I received a phone call from Frank McCormack, which was absolutely fascinating for me because I was just a young investigator starting my lab at Penn. And Frank told me that at that time, Dr. Lisa Hanske discovered the function of the gene, but I mean, the genetic base of the disease, but it wasn't clear what that gene does. And we were very lucky at that time to uncover the function of TSC2. And this is the only big scientific image what I show, which demonstrate how rapamycin work and how we discover the function. This is LAM cells, which grow really fast. And then we use rapamycin off-label at that time to really inhibit growth of LAM cells. And just to explain in a little bit more simple terms of all these graphs and dots and bands, what is mTOR? I mean, mTOR, it works like printing machine. And in LAM, loss of function of TSC2 leads to continuous work of this machine, which called mTOR. And then it's like printing press, as I said. So what was able rapamycin do is rapamycin inhibit this growth, but the problem, what we see in clinic, and Rob will tell later, and many of you know, that it doesn't completely block that growth of the LAM cells. And there is a like second arm of the press can keep printing. So moving fast forward current time, last year it was advances were made to discover new drug, which called bisteric inhibitor. So that inhibitor, RMC 5552, blocks not only one arm, but also blocks two arms. And then in models, in preclinical study, it was shown that the drug has potential for inhibiting very effectively mTOR pathway. But those are models were in cancer, and we don't know how they could work for LAM. But currently there is a clinical trial, and here's information on the screen, where this drug is tested for toxicity and tolerability. Once we have that information, we could explore opportunities where we could move forward or not. So that's a brief update, current update, and exciting thing. Also, LAM Foundation is really dedicated for many, many years, for all years, to support research and advanced research. So here's a current 2024 awardee of research, three of them. The first, Dr. Vera Krymskaya, she received this award to study LAM lung and how that LAM cells really communicate with other cells in the lung and destroy the lung. So she trying to understand how holistically that little cells, which called LAM, and we're familiar, they really interact with other and lead to destruction. So she will be using very advanced and unique technique, which became available only in the last few years. So this study by Beckenheimer-Brokamp will also definitely will show how LAM cell interact with immune cells. And two other awardees of this year focusing on investigation how LAM cells escape detection and killing by immune system. So Dr. Tang will investigate how immune system could be targeted or changed that be more effective with targeting and killing LAM cells. And Dr. Vanka will investigate why macrophages are not really promote this immune response, which could help kill LAM cells. So this is current directions, which is very exciting and promising. Also, we would like to move towards new clinical trials, and but the biggest limitation is how we could really assess patients' response to the drug, for example. And for that reason, we organized a group. We had actually a meeting this morning with Dr. Hanske, McCormack, Assem Zaidi, and Steve Hamas, and me. We're trying to brainstorm how we could define those little messengers. What is biomarkers? Biomarkers are the messengers in the blood, which could be detected in the patients who just started to have, or maybe how these patients will respond to therapy. And another big question, this biomarker could help us, will my disease progress? So this is very challenging and very important directions, which we are currently brainstorming, the best minds, what we have, among others, just small group. And this task force really working tirelessly to understand and develop this direction, which will help us to move forward. So this is my concluding slides, because I just would like to have a brief conversation with you on updates. So when we started over 20 years ago, trying to find the treatment for LAM patients, which I met, and first of them was Madeline Nolan, which I met on my way to my first symposium, which was unforgettable experience for me, who are scientists, and meeting the patients who really, really opened my eyes on the needs of the patients and how critical it is. And at that time, we had really very daunting task to really understand disease, find the function, and try to stop, develop, or find new first treatment. And at that time, the question patient was asked, if when I diagnosed, can I see all my children graduated from school? And that time, our mentality was discovery, just discovery. That's what we move forward our work. And now, over 20 years later, we have a progress, and LAM Foundation makes significant progress, which is serve as a model to many rare diseases. But now, our task, I would say, we move into the second phase in our challenge finding and paving way towards the cure, to how we could understand other more important tasks. For example, we still don't have understanding how we could tackle a female-specific targeting, why disease affects only women. And that's one of the key priorities, which is now on our list of most focus for science and urgent understanding, how patients, young patients who have LAM can have quality of life, how could they, women in their prime could have family. And that science now challenged this question. Also, women with LAM who already have family and children challenge issue of quality of life. And scientifically, the question what I see is how we could stabilize lung function from decline, if not reverse. So that question is very big scientifically and very, very important for patients. So to conclude, I would like to assure you that every day LAM Foundation, LAM researchers, and clinicians working tirelessly to find better way to treat and find the path to find new treatment for LAM. And we all together in this mission, LAM patients, clinicians, scientists, and the foundation. And I'm very, very proud to be in this position and have your trust and support moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vera. We are so thrilled and happy to have you leading the helm and pushing us through and providing a roadmap for research. So thank you so much.